Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Hello, happy new year and welcome to the WrestleTalk magazine podcast. I am Adam Blompier, joined by the hardest working woman in all of sports infotainment, the Grinch, Miss Monopoly herself, Hollywood, Denise the Hammer Salcedo. Happy New Year. Welcome to the show.
How did you remember all of that, Adam?
Actually got it written down.
I was about to say, even I don't remember all of those names. I would have messed all of that up. But you know what? I will, for this stream, I want to specifically be known as Mrs. Monopoly on this stream. The Queen of Monopoly.
Rustles my jimmies, Denise. I should also point out before we crack on with the show that this episode is sponsored by Beer 52. Oh my God, I got this through the post yesterday and I cannot wait. A whole crate of craft beer. To claim your free case of craft beer, head on over to beer52.com/WrestleTalk. There's the link. You can see it, but it's also at the top of the description. They're amazing. I can't wait to crack this open. Not right now. It's 7 a.m. here, but you know, in the Royal Rumble stream, I'm going to be cracking open these delicious beers. Are you a beer drinker, Denise?
I am now with beer too. Beer 52.
You shill so naturally for us, Denise. I can be, I suppose.
I am right now at Thursday, 11:12 p.m. Well,
hell yeah. Crack open a swig of beers for the working men and women of WrestleTalk magazine podcasting. Oh my goodness.
You know, it's funny for the person who just woke up, I'm messing up more considering that I've been awake all day.
That's right. I wake up ready to do this. You could tell by the huge bags under my eyes. I'm an old man. Not as old as Luke, though, who's having a week off. That's why I'm here, because Luke doesn't take any time off, you see, Denise. He's like you. He doesn't like doing it, but we forced him to. So, yeah, he's got the week off. So I am here for one night only after my last appearance for one night only. And this time we're talking about Denise Salcedo's top 5 matches of 2020. We thought we'd do something a little differently. So instead of covering the most recent news story, Denise, we're going to run down your top 5. I'm very excited.
Are we just doing mine? I thought we were doing yours too.
Well, I've already done my top 10.
Oh, okay.
My top 10 is on we did a list of my top 10 last Sunday, I believe. Last Sunday. I know when I recorded ages ago. I can't remember when it was.
No, it's all a blur, really.
It's all a horrible blur. So basically, yeah, we're going to run down your 5 through 1, and then I'm going to mock you for your undoubtedly questionable choices because, again, you are a Monopoly fan and therefore you have no taste.
You know what? I'm insulted by that because Monopoly is so much fun. Like, come on, you get to buy land. You get to have a little person. You get to roll the dice. You get to, I'm always the bank, by the way. Always the bank.
You are going to find having a mortgage so much fun, aren't you?
Yes, and I'm going to have all of my Monopoly experience, which, by the way, that day that I shared that picture on Twitter, just real quickly. So me and my fiance were playing Monopoly, and I cheated the whole game. And
on purpose?
On purpose. So here's the thing. We got the cheaters version of Monopoly, but my fiance was like, let's just play the regular version. So we're like, okay, fine. Let's do as much as we possibly can, the regular version of Monopoly with this. But I was still cheating because I was the bank. So like every time you would turn around, I would take like an extra couple of hundreds because I was losing money. I was buying all this land and losing money. So I started stealing the money when he wasn't looking. And then finally, when he started, realizing it, he's like, where did you get all this money from? And I was like, I earned it. And it was I couldn't lie. I started laughing so much. I was crying. Well, in the end, I got caught cheating. So I got really mad and destroyed the entire board and nobody won because I lost it.
I got caught. I got really mad because I got caught. And I am the one who destroyed the board.
That is so American, right? I'm literally the tyrant in Monopoly.
Are you? You heal. Anyway, let's run through your top 5. I'll lead you in. Number 5.
All right, so number 5, I decided to go with this match, even though it's more of a cinematic type match. I decided to go with the Stadium Stampede just because I thought it was so much fun. And I genuinely was enjoying myself during this match because I was like, okay, what on earth are going to do? What are they going to do next? Like, it's literally balls to the wall. I want to know what's going to happen. So that is why I ended up putting this one at number 5.
Mm-hmm. Really, really good match. It didn't make my top of the year, but like, it was so much fun. So much fun. Like my increasing kind of burgeoning love affair with Adam Page, just like watching him do the buckshot over the guy's back, and then just sit at the bar and drinking, pouring himself a whiskey. What a guy! Really,
I mean,
really
there was
great.
even a horse in this. Come on, a golf cart and everything.
I see Matt Hardy not get hurt in a major AEW show. That was always nice.
Also that. Are you queuing in for number? Oh. I was waiting for the cue. All right. Number 4, I decided to go with Tomohiro Ishii versus Suzuki from the G1 because that was my favorite match of the entire G1. So I decided to put it in here because I love those two and I love the match that they had. It was just hard-hitting action, which is exactly what I was expecting from these two.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, you should watch it. It's really good.
I mean, yeah, I try and like, it's one of my New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna watch more New Japan, and I start with watching most of Wrestle Kingdom, which I still haven't yet. And I'm just like, I'm gonna do it, and then the G1 rolls around. And I'm like, I'm too busy, and I never end up.
There's so much wrestling, like there's so much.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Number 3.
My number 3 was AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy versus Sami Zayn when they had the triple threat ladder match. I loved that match too. I thought it was very creative. I thought it was one of the best things WWE did all year. And I was a fan of it. And I remember being really hyped about it. So that is why I made it onto my number 3.
Heck yeah. Jeff Hardy.
I feel like you're judging my list, Adam.
I
feel like you're secretly judging my list.
Look, Denise, I've made no secret that I judge you as the world judges you. But no, these are all very stellar. I love that triple threat. Jeff Hardy getting the kind of slightly unusual earring. I didn't think for a second they were going to go with Sami Zayn. I honestly didn't. I was just like, it's definitely going to stick with Jeff Hardy or AJ Styles, maybe. But no, like the one night a year, they were just like, yeah, sod it. Sami Zayn, Intercontinental Champion, let's go.
And they did him justice too. He looked phenomenal in that match. Yeah,
it wasn't like WrestleMania. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. How'd you mess that up? But no, really, really stellar match. Number 2.
Okay, so number 2, I have to go with this match because it felt like a movie, and it was definitely the Dragunov versus Walter match. I thought that one was a whole entire journey. I mean, it was just brutal, violence, legitimately. We always use this. We always say this, or at least I always say this, like, oh, 2 dudes killing each other. Nah, this was really 2 badass men just killing each other.
We have the exact same number 2 match of the year, Denise.
Okay, yeah, I feel special now. Okay. We did it.
We did it. Yeah, like it's the lack of fans. That's what makes it really kind of so much more uncomfortable to watch. It's just like, because you are like, even in COVID era, you're conditioned to have like some fans there going, but just fact is you see these slaps happening in silence.
It's almost like you didn't need the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. It's like proper old-fashioned. Like, I mean, a lot about Walter, especially, is old-fashioned, but just like, yeah, proper studio wrestling, like uncomfortable Southern promotion, like violence. But you know, like I don't want to watch too much, wrestling like that. But for what it was, like I'm so happy that everyone, especially after the 2020 that there's been, that everyone was talking about NXT UK in such a positive light, if only for a week. Really beautiful, horrible, beautiful match.
I agree. Horrible, beautiful.
And now, drum roll, Denise Salcedo's number 1 wrestling match of 2020
was actually from Impact Wrestling. I know.
Ooh.
I decided to start off that way. So my favorite match of the year was really just because it got the biggest pop out of me. It was definitely Eric Young versus Rich Swann at Bound for Glory. I loved that match. And I felt like I was one of the few people that really was putting this match over, like on social media. People were like, "Oh, this is a good match." But like nobody made the justice of it that it was a phenomenal match. And I loved it. I was genuinely so excited during it. And I was just waiting to see what they were going to do next. And everything that they did, I was like popping hard for. So that's the one that made me feel really good. And a lot of these matches, you sometimes you forget all these like little intricate details of what happened. But the thing that you most remember is how you felt while you were watching it and how you felt afterwards. And this is one of the ones where I like had like the most excitement level in me.
Oh, fantastic. I like to my shame, I still haven't seen it. Like I was so happy when Bound for Glory kind of got that huge, that burst in
With
viewership
AEW.
with AEW, and also the kind of like a lot of people left WWE, of course. So everyone was just like, well, who are we going to see? We're going to see Rusev. Are we going to see who and who? So yeah, there was a lot more. Or am I thinking of Slammiversary there? I think I might be thinking.
Yeah, I think you might be.
Yeah, I am. I am thinking of Slammiversary there. Ignore me. I'm just so tired. But even so, all like Impact has had a kind of slow increase of relevance this year, which is fantastic to see, because honestly, more wrestlers, especially in the spotlight, kind of elevating their stock, especially kind of for a crowd who may not have tuned in if AEW had, shone the spotlight. Like, it could only be good for the industry as a whole. It really can. Impact Wrestling having something of a renaissance this year. That was a really lovely thing to see.
I know. I feel like they have like up and down moments. Like they have those months where or those pay-per-views, like we mentioned, that they're like on fire, and then it kind of dwindles down a little bit, but then something else happens and they come back up. They're like on this they really on a roller coaster.
They are. So before we kick into the mailbag, we're jumping into the mailbag a little bit earlier this episode, just because we haven't been, this show hasn't been on the air for the last 2 weeks. So there's a mailbag. There's a big old mailbag to get through. So we want to make sure that we get through as much of it as we can. But just before we kind of crack into the beast, 2021, Denise, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Adam, I know we just met, so you probably don't know me very well, but I live for like New Year's goals.
Ooh.
I have a 31 bullet point list of all my goals, dreams, wishes, desires for this year. Like some are really big and then some are like really pointless, but they mean a lot to me. So literally like 31.
Are some of them to play a good board game? Is that one of your resolutions?
No.
You should give it a try. It's really like you'll be amazed how much fun you can have.
Okay, so I have to tell you something. I'm guilty of doing something. So I was posting. Okay, so I don't know if you saw, but that day that I posted the Monopoly picture, I was also playing a Royal Rumble game, right? And it was really cool, but I had to make a game up because I was reading the instructions of how to properly play, and I could not, for the life of me, get through the instructions. Oh. And I just got so frustrated. I gave up and I made up my own game, and we just played it like that, and it didn't end up working out very well. But I don't like to read instructions, and that's why I can't necessarily be like an expert in board games. I have to play the simple ones like Candyland.
Candyland.
I love Candyland.
It's not a game. Literally,
yes, it
all
is.
The cards have been dealt. Like literally, the winner has been decided by the stack of cards. There's no gameplay at all. You're just turning over a card and doing what it says.
I love Candyland, Monopoly. I like Connect 4.
Connect 4 is a great game. Connect 4
Yeah.
is brilliant. Cluedo is a great game. Like there's some really good classics. Go Fish is also good if you're, a 50-year-old woman. But hey,
I play Go Fish. I play matching cards, like when you have to match the pair. I hate that game, but I play it. But I'm not. That's my extent of board game knowledge, and I know I'm talking to the board games master, so I'm a jobber. I'm like below jobber level here in this board game world.
You're a young lion is what you are, Denise.
I don't even think I'm good enough to be a young lion.
We'll
Let's be
get you there.
real.
We will. I'll find a way. I'll do it. Everyone at WrestleTalk is now getting board games for Christmas, and everyone's playing them in their off time. Like it's happening. The virus is spreading. Oh my god, that's the worst possible analogy I could have used. I'm genuinely so sorry.
I mean, if any virus is going to spread, it might as well be the love of board games. I'll take that. I will take that virus.
There's no vaccine for that. On to the mailbag. Oh, the best and most thoughtfully put together show of the week. Before we jump in, why not? beer52.com/WrestleTalk for your own free trial case of craft beer. They'll deliver it to your door. You can cancel anytime. I love Beer 52. They are absolutely wonderful. Not only do you get 8 lovely craft beers, mixtures of IPA, some full-bodied stouts, but they also give you like this lovely little snack that you get, and it's always like really salty and goes really nicely with the beer. And they also give you a little magazine so you can see what your beer is, and it's nice. I like it.
That's awesome. I love how they give you all this extra little stuff. I was like, oh, I was not expecting all that. I love it.
I know. A little bit goes a long way. All right. So jumping into the mailbag. Thank you so much for all your mail this week. Adam Galax says, hello, Danuke. Well, I was wondering, what would we call? Are we Damn? We're Team
We're
Damn.
Team Damn. Damn.
I was wondering if AEW ever pulled a JBL/Kofi type move by taking someone deemed mid-card for life and making them the heavyweight champion. Who do you think would be a good shout for that kind of spot? My pick would be Frankie Kazarian. I'd be happy with a gimmick overhaul a la JBL, or just keep him as he is. I think either could work for him. What do you think, Denise? Like, it's sort of like an AEW mid-carder who like that has to be like instantly promoted to the heavyweight title.
I would probably go with 2 options, Ricky Starks or Scorpio Sky. I feel like those are 2 guys that can definitely be skyrocketed to the top and would do a good job. They would each bring something totally different, but I think that those would be my 2 guys.
Very good choices. Maybe, well, the thing is, like, just like they have to be kind of like mid card, because MJF is like he's upper mid card right now, but there's future main event there. Maybe, I don't know. I think there's future main event there as well. I think he's also an upper mid card. I was gonna say Wardlow, but he's not. We wouldn't classify him as mid card. So
it's the classifications. Like, I feel like, because I was, when I was thinking, I feel like Scorpio Sky and Ricky Starks, like, even though Ricky Starks is getting, more TV time, I would still maybe consider him more on the mid-card level than obviously. So I would consider Wardlow to be around that same level. Okay.
Yeah, I think Wardlow would be absolutely brilliant. Like, I think he is going to be AEW champion at some point. But no, he is he is what Diesel could have been. Which is not necessarily the strongest compliment you can pay a wrestler.
Probably not.
But hell, really, really great big guy. All right, Peter Mullins says, hello, Team Louise, or whoever is subbing in for Luke. That would be me. Hello. Something struck me the other day whilst watching AEW, and the team of the good, the bad, and the hungy, an inspired name, by the way. WWE used to come up with these great tag team names for random singles guys teaming up all the time, and I genuinely miss it. My question is this: do you ever have, or can you think of, a great tag team name for 2 wrestlers? By way of an assist, here are actual tag teams that won the WWE tag titles back in the day, like CM Punk and Kofi, Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree, Cody and Drew, Rico and Rikishi, Rikoshi, there you go, right there, William Regal and Eugene, Matt Hardy and MVP, Spike Dudley and Taz, Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri. WWE is freaking weird, man. So yeah, we need to come up with some joke tag team names.
So we're making one up?
Yes. We're on the spot here, Denise.
So who are the people that we're putting together?
Literally, like any of those. Like, he gave us like a starter list of like randomly thrown together tag teams. I think he basically wants us to create another Team Hell No. Basically. Oh,
I see. Okay, I'm trying to think of everybody's names here really quick, as fast as my brain can work.
CM Punk and Kofi Kingston.
Punkston. CM King.
CM King is not bad. Punkston. sounds like a kind of like a rowdy teen in like a teen comedy. Like the dean would hate the Punxton.
Punxton sounds to me like they could play off like a punk type of band, punk wrestlers. I don't know.
It just sounds
their
like
own version of the Misfits.
Oh, it just sounds like the sort of like what CM Punk's shield would be made out of. Like Marvel made up vibranium. He's got a shield made out of tungsten.
Or it kind of sounds, you know what also it sounds like? Like a flavor of like a fancy Starbucks coffee. Like, yes, I will have a tall Punxton, please. Non-fat Punxton.
Well, we're not going to beat Punxton then. Okay, let's skip. How about Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre?
Rodentire? Actually, that sounds like a shop to go fix your car. Rodent tires. Like, okay, Cody Drew, Drody, yes, Drody.
Drody.
That doesn't sound like a tag team name. It sounds more like just like a regular name. Like, hey, Drody, what's up?
Drody, my man, Drody. I mean, Rico and Rikishi, I think that's got to be Rikoshi, surely. Matt Hardy and MVP, maybe. Oh, MV1.
There you go. That's a good one. I like that.
There you go.
I haven't seen anybody dab in like 3 years.
I could floss too. If that would help.
Can you really?
Not in my chat. Hang on.
I mean, we can kind of see.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your flossing skills.
I appreciate the support. I always do appreciate your support, Denise. I know you're in my corner. Michael Plowman says, Mailbag, I know this will get lost with the holiday shuffle. This is December 22nd. This is from. That's how far back this mailbag goes. I know this will get lost with the holiday shuffle, but inspiration hit me, and I had to ask this to you. What's an interesting way you can think of for a Money in the Bank cash in? I'll go back to TLC, have Miz, Son's briefcase, and Morrison come down as if to help AJ. They attack Drew and try to handcuff him to the ring post. Having trouble, they get AJ to help and do succeed in cuffing Drew to the ring post. Then they cuff AJ to the same ring post. Miz then pulls the briefcase from under the ring to cash in and win the belt easily. I know Miz is unpopular, but this could have gotten the fans talking, plus a chicken S-word, Miz, and a triple threat at the Rumble isn't a bad way to go. Gracias. Tardia Feliz Navidad. How's my Spanish?
It's I understood what you were saying.
There you go.
I wasn't like, what is he saying? I understood you were trying to say Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, exactly. What more do you need? So that I think, yeah, what is a good way for Miz to cash in Money in the Bank? Are you excited about Miz, Mr. Money in the Bank?
Well, I'll give you my answer and then you can then you can tell me if I'm excited. How about this? The Miz's entrance music hits. He comes out. He gives the referee the Money in the Bank. He says, I'm in. Right?
Right.
And then the referee says, no, you're awful. You're done. We out. This is over. You're gone.
The ref goes
Nobody
rogue.
wants to see this. There you go. That's my brilliant creative idea.
Wow. Damn, man.
I'm not a fan of this. I've been like totally like anti this whole Miz Money in the Bank thing. So that's the best I can possibly do. And that'd be the most interesting thing I can imagine.
Damn, man. Damn, that was hardcore. The only thing that I'm interested for, and I'm not particularly interested in The Miz necessarily doing this. I would have been more interested in someone like if Dolph had done this back in the day. But it's like the only story they haven't really told with Money in the Bank, I think, is the time running out. Like they keep trying to do it. I think if they do, right, and I know people aren't excited about Miz having the briefcase, but I get it. But like if they keep doing it, if the Miz keeps kind of like legally getting the briefcase back, keeps like trying to cash in, keeps failing, and it gets to May. Like I know that sounds awful, doesn't it? It sounds like such a long time to drag this out, but it gets to May, and literally the clock is going to run out. He's got at Money in the Bank, basically by the end of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, Miz is told you will officially, like, it will expire. So the entire show, he's going insane trying to cash in this Money in the Bank briefcase. And like he does it. He does, like, literally at the end of the show, right at the end of the show, Miz finally manages to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then the person who won the Money in the Bank briefcase earlier in the night cashes in on the Miz and becomes the new champion.
Cashes in on the cash in.
Cashes in on the cash in. It's the only thing I think they haven't done.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. Better than my idea.
I mean, it was less mean than your idea. I don't know if it's necessarily better.
I was just trying to think of a way to end it and not even have to see anything happen.
I think Luke would appreciate your idea more. He is not a fan of Mr. Money in the Bank.
Oh, good. We haven't even had a chance to discuss this, so good.
Well, you've made it painfully obvious on Twitter how much you miss Luke. Thanks, Denise.
I didn't mean that. Me missing Luke did not mean that I didn't want to do this show with you.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and I saw your comment, and obviously I saw it like 50 years later because of like time zones and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about this. So I think I just gave you like a like or something. I don't remember what the heck happened.
I think, or maybe just like one of those kind of like one of those emoticons, emojis, whatever they're called, you know, with the smiley face. Or I was
half asleep. I was looking at Twitter. I was like, what did I miss while I was sleeping? Like
waking up at 3:00 in the afternoon. Yeah, I get you.
But no, I definitely did not mean I did not want to do this show with you.
Okay. Whatever.
Hey, I included you in my Easter egg video. That was me saying, Adam, I know you. I appreciate you. You're part of this madness.
Okay. Saying Adam Hart's Monopoly is you knowing me and appreciating me, is it? Delightful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the shout out. We have fun here. Nate drop surname says, hello Team Danuke / Team Dam. I am a huge Seinfeld fan. I was so excited to hear about Denise enjoying the show. It's my all-time favorite sitcom and one of my all-time favorite shows overall. My questions are, who is your favorite character and what is your favorite lie or shenanigans from line, I think, or shenanigans from the show? Some of mine are Elaine killing off the non-existent Susie, George taking fake donations for Christmas gifts, or making up his place in the Hamptons, complete with horses, Snoopy, and Prickly Pete. And anytime Kramer pretends to be H.E. Pennypacker, Dr. Van Nostrand, or other aliases. Remember, it's not a lie if you believe it. George, or maybe it is like. Thanks for what is consistently one of the best shows. Pods of the week. You always make me laugh.
Do you watch Seinfeld?
So I've seen all but the last season of Seinfeld. I got all the DVDs. Like it's been a while. It's been like 10 years since I've watched it. But like some of those episodes, just like it's just peeing out. Like I think it's the one. My favorite one. It just rings so horribly true. Is the big salad?
Oh, the one where Elaine wants to get the big salad, but she can't. I think she doesn't want to go to the restaurant that doesn't have the big salad.
It's so like I just the how much the show fixates on just like tiny, wonderful, mundane, and like inventing yada yada yada. Like
yada.
Damn the legacy of that show. I mean, like The Contest is one of my favorite sitcom episodes, like ever. Just the way Kramer leaving and then coming back in literally a minute and just go, I'm done. And just like the how long it takes for the audience to calm down is just so delightful. I really, really love it. What about you, Denise? Run us through some of your favorite Seinfeld moments.
My favorite Seinfeld moments, and one of the first ones was when Elaine was in the subway because she's going to the lesbian wedding because I forgot what she is, but she's in the subway and she's trying to make it to the wedding, but instead the subway breaks down. So like she's just there having like a meltdown and she's so pissed off. And she's like, you could hear like her voiceover narration. And then she's like, someone's touching me. And then like just the way that she was freaking out in that subway ride was so freaking funny. So that segment, I like the one where George burns his milky beautiful hands, the one where the girl that made the pirate shirt pushes him and then like he goes into the iron and he just burns his hands. That's a really good one. And then okay, I forgot which one. I don't know if you saw this episode, the one where the racer, the guy that's gonna be running, that he missed the Olympics because he slept in late. So then Jerry ends up being the one that has to wake him up. I forgot his name, but he doesn't wake him up on time. And he comes up and he's like, wake up, we missed the alarm.
I
Those
don't
are my
remember.
favorite moments. Oh my God, I forgot the guy's name, and I'm sure I'll remember it afterwards once I'm done with this. But I need like a couple episodes more. I'm almost done with season 9, so I'm almost there. And I also like the one where Kramer goes to Los Angeles and they think he's the serial killer. And they come at his door, they open the door, and I just love the shot with like everybody there. And then you just see Jerry in the back just waving at him.
I really liked how I think they talked about it in like one of the behind the scenes commentaries or like an interview about it. It's just like we fell on this like into this trap, like this narrative kind of running joke for Jerry that things just end up fine for him. Like terrible things happen to Elaine, or brilliant things happen to Elaine, and terrible things happen to George, and like occasionally brilliant things happen to Kramer. Everything just sort of works out for Jerry, which I really like. Is just like a running joke. I think it's one where he's like on a flight or in the airport, and like everyone else is going through chaos, and Jerry's just like
the airplane, the one where he's in first class and Elaine is stuck in coach. I love that episode.
It's really, really good. Also, every single time I go to a public bathroom, which is not often, obviously, like I think it's been close to like 6 months since I've been to one now because yay, lockdown. But like literally every time I go to one, I think of that episode of Seinfeld. It's like a tiny little moment where he just walks in and he just takes off his belt and he says, well, the tip of my belt touched the side of the urinal today, so it's gone, and then just puts it in the bin. And I was just like, yeah, that is how I would feel if the tip of my belt touched the side of the urinal. Oh, lovely. I love Seinfeld. Is it your favorite sitcom?
I haven't decided yet because I still really love Friends. I'm a big Friends fan, and I do love How I Met Your Mother a whole lot too. So I do love that. That 70s show isn't my favorite, but I do love that one as well. But I still think that I still love How I Met Your Mother and Friends just a little bit more.
It's got to be Frasier for me.
That's the one I'm watching next.
Oh man, like it's some of the best farce. It's so good. Like the first 5 seasons of Frasier are like, oh, they're so amazing. I love Frasier so much, which, you know, everyone kind of looks at me and says, oh, of course he likes Frasier, the big posh bastard. But no, it's such good, silly farce is the reason why I love it. Lawrence says, hey, gang, hope all are well in what is hopefully the tail end of this pandemic. Here is something I think you missed in the Omni Flair return. WWE have perfected the screw job because Vince and Creative just repeated the Mania 35 Asuka screw job with, oddly enough, almost this exact same cast. Super fast recap. About a week or more before Mania 35, they royally screwed Asuka by moving Flair from Raw to SmackDown, having Flair challenge for and win the SmackDown Women's title so Flair could go into the main event as champion, and Asuka could go on to lose on the pre-show. This time, it is Lana in the Asuka role who got screwed out of a possible planned tag title run. WWE saw that Charlotte would be back at this time, so they wrote Lana's injury into the story to remove her from the pay-per-view, and once again, Flair was added to the match. And just like 35, no forethought or planning went into this whatsoever. It was all purely random and done at the last minute, so Shayna and Nia made to look like chumps. Any plan for a Lana Asuka title run got scrapped. Any Lana puts Nia through a table plans are trashed, and it was all done just so they could put another belt on Flair. The screw job perfected. Stay safe and jam that jam. Not even a question. Just really, really angry about Charlotte. Like, man, I don't know. Like, Lana's storyline this year, I think it would be generous to compare it to Asuka's run last year. Because, yeah, I'm sure Asuka and Lana would have won the titles in a table match at TLC with Lana pushing Nia Jax through a table. I'm sure that was the payoff. And, like, I don't know, man. Like, I see more money in Charlotte and Asuka as can they coexist champions. Like it's a done storyline, but I see more of a return in Charlotte, like even rushed kind of like out of nowhere, out of the blue, back and put the belt on a Charlotte than I do in a Lana thing right now. And maybe that makes me sound bad. I'm not sure. How do you feel? I
just think that Lana necessarily doesn't. I have to agree with you. Yeah, I think that there's definitely, and I know people don't want to see Charlotte as champion again because they've seen it, they've been there, and it just feels like it's the same thing over and over. But at the end of the day, I still think that Charlotte is a different competitor from Lana, and that is why I wouldn't necessarily go with putting the belt on Lana. Especially right now, the Raw Women's Championship hasn't been looking that great. Asuka's run, unfortunately, was not necessarily the greatest, and that's obviously not her fault, but it was not the greatest. And so I do think that they need to revive that belt because it's slowly or maybe steadily moving down, and that's not good. They need to get that belt back up to mean something. And with the whole Asuka, Nia Jax, Shayna, Lana situation, it really didn't feel like it felt like a very last minute decision when they brought in Charlotte to be the mystery tag partner with Asuka and have her win. I didn't feel like it was like the right spot for Charlotte to come on in. And I get it now with their like, teasing this whole thing with Charlotte and Asuka. But at that moment, to me, it didn't really feel like this was the spot to put Charlotte in.
Yeah, I like Lana could be a star. Anyone can be a star with the right booking and presentation. Like that's just the truth of it. Like you said, the Raw Women's division doesn't have a division really. Like who has been the major stars now that we've got, because obviously Sasha and Bailey are both on SmackDown. Becky's gone. Shayna has been incredibly devalued since the beginning of the year. All I can you need to inject another star back into that division to make the belt more prominent. And Charlotte, as much as you may be not enthused to see her in the in the title picture, she's a star, man. Like you say, she's not a competitor on the level of Lana. She is possibly the biggest star that they have, even more so than Asuka, even more so maybe than Sasha and Bailey. Charlotte is, just because she's been steadily promoted in that spot for years. She until Becky comes back, she still might be the biggest star that they've got. So, it's WrestleMania season.
That.
Yeah, man. Unless Becky is willing to come back at the Rumble, who else wins the Rumble? That's the thing, is that I don't want to see Charlotte win 2 Rumbles back to back, but who else is there? Maybe you could hot shot someone and use the Rumble to make a star. That's probably a better choice. But in terms of proper WrestleMania marquee match stars, this shouldn't be the way it is. WWE should have gone all in on Shayna Baszler. They should have kept Asuka strong. But right now, Charlotte's the biggest star you've got, and it's Mania season. So
yeah, I think the only alternative, or the person that I think should win, it should really be Rhea Ripley. She should be the one that, like you said, hot shot her to the top, have her win the Rumble. I think that's the one that I think that's the match, the Charlotte match, that people would want to see.
Yeah, Rhea's revenge would be really, really good. That's such a good call, actually.
Yeah, they gotta do it. It feels like that's the natural selection, right? But the natural selection isn't always
very good. Natural selection. That's very good.
Denise. It never happens, though.
That's so. Denise.
Although it did happen with Drew, actually. It did happen with Drew. So
I think if Rhea eliminating Charlotte from the Rumble, and then maybe Charlotte. The thing is, then again, you are sort of relegating Asuka to an afterthought. If before WrestleMania, Charlotte gets the title, and then it's Rhea versus Charlotte. I think it would be great. I'd like to see it. I think I'd like to. What would you rather see, Charlotte versus Asuka at Mania, or Charlotte versus Rhea?
Charlotte versus Rhea, all the way, 100% for me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right. I'm sold. You've done it. Well done, Denise.
I did it. All I said was yes, and you were sold. I should sell you a car. I think it'd be easy.
What about this understeel coating? Ooh. Right. Jamie Donovan has given us a straight page of text, so I'm gonna read through this as quick as I can. Hey, Luke and Denise, or should I say Team Danuke? Love the name. Been a pledge hammer since some first time mailbag question. Wanted to make sure it was a good one for you guys. Sorry in advance if this is a bit long-winded. So, since AEW has begun, Vince and WWE have stated it's a blood and guts promotion, and they are not worried about them. They decide to run NXT live alongside AEW on Wednesday nights. Clearly, still not worried. Throughout the course of the year, they traded ratings back and forth between them, but like in '96, the ratings gap becomes greater, and AEW starts taking the lead. Now, over the last couple of months, I feel like the WWE product we are seeing is slowly turning into a cheap knockoff of AEW. What first made me think this is the arrival of Retribution and Ali being revealed as the leader, Karkov, Exalted One. Retribution's whole gimmick is that they've been forgotten about, shunned, thrown aside until Ali saved them and gave them their faces. Now rewind the clock back to the start of Dark Order and AEW, and their recruitment ad stating, "Do you feel unappreciated, shunned by society, then join the Dark Order." Then after some weeks, Brody Lee is revealed as the true leader. Retribution some months later, same MO, then Ali arrives as the real leader. Seems too similar to be a coincidence, but I thought maybe I'm reading too much into this. That was until the last 2 weeks of SmackDown leading into TLC. So Carmella returns with a new gimmick, seems quite cool and different, and to be honest, quite interesting. So I think, okay, I'm into this. 2 weeks before TLC, Carmella has a toast to Sasha where she keeps talking about champagne and ends the segment bottling Sasha with a little bit of the bubbly. Since that point, seems like all the promos involving champagne or bottling Sasha with champagne. Now, at the point of me writing this, I've not seen the SmackDown after TLC, but it seems to me her character is very champagne-centered all of a sudden, just like Le Champion. I think, this isn't quite as obvious as Retribution becomes a few months after my first suspicion. It is still early days and more to be seen with the character. Nevertheless, cannot be a coincidence once again. It seems to me the last few months, WWE have started subtly changing or debuting characters very close to what we see from the so-called blood and guts promotion, which suggests they are worried about AEW's popularity growing and are trying to fall back to their strategy from the 90s in an attempt to bring some fans back, like with WCW, changing their product to be more mainstream to bring fans back. Only this time it will not work, as all it seems to be doing is they're copying programs that got over in AEW. But hey, this is all speculation on my part. I think it's an interesting theory. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on my conspiracy theory, whether you think it could be true or if I'm wearing a tinfoil hat while writing this. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Once again, sorry for the long email. God damn it, I could be right. Love you guys. Keep jamming that jam. Problem solver, Jamie Donovan. Oof. I don't know about this.
Do you have mixed emotions? I feel like you might have mixed emotions.
I have mixed emotions. Look, I'm sure the WWE is worried about AEW. I think WWE, knowing kind of what we know about WWE, I'd say they're simply more worried about their own failures than AEW's successes. They have been told to make their product, more adult, more adult themed, which will inevitably draw comparisons with the more adult themed AEW. I think both shows having champagne on them, like 6 months apart, is a little tinfoil hattish. Retribution, you could maybe compare to the Dark Order, but again, Retribution came out of the news, which is what made Retribution much more gross. Like, if you want to talk conspiracy theories of WWE, that they were trying to do Antifa. They weren't trying to do the Dark Order. So like that's worse, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is WWE trying to rip off AEW? Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of wrestling tropes under the sun. And I think champagne and a big kind of guerrilla warfare faction, I don't think those are the comparisons to draw if you are going to draw comparisons. What do you think, Denise?
I have to agree. I think that it is, I get it in the champagne thing, just because the thing is that Jericho has branded it. So that's why your brain automatically goes to the champagne, connects the two things. But it's champagne. At the end of the day, it's the go-to thing for if you're trying to portray someone who's like, fancy, luxurious, or, a very, like the Carmella character, the flamboyant, or, a team is winning and bam, they got to celebrate with champagne. It's something that's so embedded into the culture that you can't necessarily say, oh, well, this person owns it, or this person can only do stuff with champagne. Again, our minds go there because Jericho has branded, the whole bubbly thing and all of that. And I think that it might be a sense where you're probably looking for things, or trying to make these connections of, oh, they're stealing content or stealing ideas, because you can kind of do it on the other end too. Because I remember when they announced that Roman Reigns, Jey Uso was going to be a Hell in a Cell I Quit match, I think a week or two after that, it was announced that the Eddie Kingston, John Moxley match was going to be an I Quit match. And I remember thinking like, the rival's already doing a quit match, and they're doing it in this big platform with, Roman Reigns, who's their top star. And now they're doing it too. Obviously, two different types of matches with the Hell in a Cell and no Hell in a Cell. All right. But that was one of the things that I thought about too. But if I were to sit there and say, oh, they're stealing ideas from WWE, I think it would be crazy to say that, because it was something that I think was coincidental, but at the same time could also be like, well, they did do it first, and you got to keep an eye out on the competition. So maybe come up with a backup plan just in case, But I do think that would be judging them too harshly on both sides. Like, I wouldn't judge, AEW I wouldn't say AEW stealing ideas from WWE just because of that one example. And I wouldn't necessarily say the same thing about Carmella having the champagne and, Jericho having the bubbly thing. Again, it's champagne. And it's funny because when Carmella was doing that, Taylor Swift came out with a song called Champagne Problems. So did Katy Perry, a song called Champagne Problems. So everybody was all about the champagne.
I was wondering how long it would take for Tay to make her way to sashay into this conversation.
It had to. You brought up the viewer brought up the champagne.
I mean, I can't believe we haven't done your top 5 Taylor Swift albums that dropped in 2020. Blumeneck, quite a few. Well done, Tate. Someone was born stressful. In lockdown.
Yeah, it's definitely been it's been stressful just because I was doing all the videos for it, and I was like, I'm not prepared.
Taylor, please
give me a break here.
Marcus Sol Campbell says, Happy New Year, Team Danuke. If there is an episode before the year is out, there was not. What changes to the wrestling industry do we think will happen in 2021? And what change to the industry in 2020 excited you the most?
Excited me the most was the fact that they found an alternative to no audiences allowed. I'm glad that they created the Thunderdome. I'm glad that AEW found a way to get around, the rules and whatnot, or not get around the rules, but found a way to make it work for people. If that makes any sense. I'm glad that they did that. And in terms of what I would like to see be changed for 2021, I mean, the answer is obvious. I hope and pray that we eventually get to the point where we can have live audiences, which, to be honest, I may not have a lot of hope for that this year, but I still have some hope there. So I don't know.
I think, I think SummerSlam, very maybe, not Mania, not Royal Rumble. They've confirmed not Rumble. I'm sure Vince wants Mania, but it's still too early. Maybe SummerSlam, but I think it's almost nailed on, and I've got a terrible feeling people are going to use the soundbite against me in the future. But I think Survivor Series will be in front of a live crowd.
God, I hope so, but I hope it's done in the appropriate way where everybody can feel safe and hey, all right, we're back, woo, not in a I don't know if I could attend type of way. Absolutely.
WrestleMania 38, I think, will be our first Mania back in front of a live crowd, and I wonder what they're going to do for it. In terms of what changed the industry in 2020, I agree, just making it work. I guess I would love to see a union. That would be be a change to the industry that I would really appreciate. But I think 2021 is just going to be all about the protocols in place for getting fans back safely. I just want to make sure that it's done responsibly. So that if you don't do it responsibly now, it's going to be much later that you do get to do it responsibly. That's the thing. Don't rush it, because you will end up just hurting yourself and pushing it further and further and further back. It's just how it works. If you cause another spike, we lock down again. So just let's ride it out. Maybe SummerSlam, probably Survivor Series. All right. Josh B17 says, Hi, Danuke. There's been tons of great NXT TakeOver matches over the years, with the more well-known ones being Banks versus Bayley. Over the years, not over the year. And the Ciampa versus Gargano series. My question is, what do you think is the most underrated TakeOver match of all time. I can't decide between Gargano versus Andrade at Philadelphia and the UE versus Lorcan and Birch at Chicago 2. Hope you both had a great Christmas and New Year. Ooh.
I don't know. This is a hard one because I feel like all the matches that I thought were good, everyone thought they were good.
I think so. I think Gargano versus Andrade is. I think it's difficult to call that underrated. It may not kind of be mentioned in the same breath as Gargano Ciampa, but like match got 5 stars. I thought it was pretty appreciated in its time. In terms of again, all the really good ones set the community aflame because the NXT fan base is so passionate. I remember one, I guess, that people don't talk about as much is Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain.
Okay.
Love that match. Just
see, I don't remember it that much. So for me, I'm like,
It was really, really good because they were paying off a thing. It's maybe it's not remembered as much because there's a storyline element to it, which was paying off something on TV. And I know not everyone watches NXT on TV; they just watch the takeovers. But there was one bit where on TV where Trent Seven threw in the towel for Tyler Bate, or it was possibly the other way around. Tyler Bate threw in the towel for Trent Seven. Can't remember. one of Mustache Mountain threw in the towel, and then Trent Seven had the towel on the apron at the takeover and was doing the kind of the whole forsooth, and then he decided to throw it away from the ring and then just put his hand out and try and go for the hot tag and try and cheer Tyler on. I thought that was really, really lovely stuff. It's not in the same kind of breath. People don't mention it as some of the great tag matches like Yui versus Broserweight or Aleister Black and Ricochet versus War Raiders. But yeah, that would be my pick.
I like it. I think that's a good pick because even when you mention it, it was one of the furthest away from my mind.
Awesome. Do you have any in mind, or would you like to move on?
No, I don't think I have to sit down and really think about this one, honestly, because even I was going to say, I remember really enjoying God, but this one, it doesn't really count because it was untelevised at the time. So it doesn't really count. And it was Sasha versus Bailey, by the way. And but it wasn't televised. So I can't count it.
Wait, which one? Sasha versus Bailey?
Actually, never mind. It was Sasha Banks Charlotte. Dang, I forgot. Okay, so this was it was WrestleMania weekend in San Francisco, Santa Clara.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, that show, I don't think it was televised, and I was there because I was there in the live audience, and I think it was definitely actually Charlotte Sasha.
Was that the one where Hideo Itami hit the GTS for the first time?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know. Someone might want to fact check that one on me. But because I remember that night I was so tired, but I was still at the show. And I remember being such a great show. And it was one of my first events that I had actually NXT events that I had actually attended live in person. So, but that whole day I was exhausted because we drove up to San Francisco super early in the morning. So by the time the show came around, I was but I still remember that match being really good, but it doesn't really count though because it was not televised, but no one's talking about it because again, it wasn't televised.
All right. Well, seek it out if you can find it. Reese Degnan says, "Hey, Team Danuke, hope you're both well and set to enjoy your New Year's with your respective partners. Side note, when will Denise meet Mrs. Owens? By everything Luke has said, it sounds like they will get on like a house on fire. What are your opinions on Tony Khan's appearances on Impact and how it relates to Kenny's belt collector story? Personally, I'm not a fan, as you keep mentioning how he could stop Omega if he wanted, and I feel it takes agency away from Kenny, implying he is only doing it by the grace of Tony instead of the 2-decade plan we are being presented. Kind regards and Happy New Year's, Reese Degnan."
So I like the appearances with Tony Khan that he was doing on Impact because I thought they were pretty funny.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it came across as a, I don't know how to explain it because it was the business side of him, but at the same time, hey, we're doing this collaboration, so we might as well do something fun with it. And I think it was sort of unexpected. At least I didn't really expect it. So I liked it.
Yeah, I think if you're that storyline, I think, especially with Don Callis and going all the way back to New Japan and all that stuff, it's it's an angle they're really trying to root in reality and like have that, you know, like 'cause they're promotion hopping, so they want to be just like, well, we wouldn't need one kind of overarching narrative continuity to it. And I think like if they're really trying to tell this story, obviously Tony Khan would have something to say. And like I think including some of that business language, talking about contracts and injunctions, I don't know. Just for me, that's just nice flavor. I don't think it robs Kenny of his agency because I think you see all the agency you want in the ring. Like Kenny is on fire, like genuinely like the hottest pro wrestler in the world, perhaps, maybe except for Kota Ibushi or Jay White. Like right now, Kenny Omega is the man, and I don't think anything Tony Khan has done has put even the slightest damper on that.
No. Yeah, definitely not.
For me, I love for more than anything, I just love Tony Schiavone in those segments.
The ads, y'all are funny.
They're really, really good. No, I think they're really funny. I think they're really great. Henrik Jansen says, hello, Miss Grinch, and ad name here. I really want to thank you all at WrestleTalk and all the guests you have for the amazing content you've given, especially during Christmas time. I celebrated alone to slow the spread in Sweden. It sucked. When are you going to rename the podcast to Denise Salcedo presents the Denise Salcedo WrestleTalk podcast featuring Denise Salcedo? Really, thank you. You guys have been a shining light for me the last 2 years, making it okay to feel down and not happy all the time. Love all your shows on all your channels and all of you. So many thanks again. Love from Sweden. I'm sure the rebrand is coming, isn't it, Denise?
I think Luke would be very angry. I don't think he'd want to be the lead host in the Denise Salcedo presents the Denise Salcedo show. I think Luke would be very, very upset at that and might want some name credits on there.
I think that absolutely Luke would be on board with the rebrand. He's such a kind, giving soul that if you just told him, like literally next podcast you do with him, like a week from today, if you told him, oh by the way, Luke, Adam and I, we agreed and the fans agreed that the show's now called the Denise Salcedo Experience, that he would just go for it. So I think, yeah, at the beginning of next week's show, we should officially rechristen this the Denise Salcedo Experience.
You want to know, like, the number one thing that like you always see in wrestling, and this goes like in all forms, whenever you have somebody booking, the booker, you always have him put himself over in a match. Like you always see that in wrestling. That's how I would feel. I'd feel like the booker that's putting myself over in the match. And, you know, even if I shouldn't be the top guy, I'm putting myself over.
Don't tell me you don't want this, Denise.
The Denise Salcedo Experience featuring Luke, that guy. Not even put his last name, just Luke, that guy.
Featuring that guy. Yeah,
Denise. Take out Luke, just that guy.
Featuring Denise, etc. Denise and friends,
etc.
Yeah, I think it's
so sad.
It's like, yeah, new year, new podcast. We need a rebrand. There it is. The Denise Salcedo Experience. Love it.
Gosh,
Get
so many
it trending.
people would hate me.
Well, you know, like I already judge you, so why not just add more people to that list?
I know. Just keep bringing it on, man. Bringing it on.
Yeah, you know it. Like, you know, it's so much better to be hated than respected. That's what the Undertaker taught us way back in 2002. Jonathan, the Headmaster Headman, says, hello, team, whoever this week is. I hope you had a wonderful festivities of merrymaking. Question in a couple parts. Do you have a favorite wrestler's entrance music? If so, what? Second question, do you have one that live is awesome, but just as a song is meh, and vice versa? For me, favorite song is the Evil Doink the Clown. As for the live, Jungle Boys is awesome, and but in CD is meh. Oh, very interesting. So first of all, do you have a favorite wrestler's entrance music?
Triple H, The Game. It's a classic. And in person, Brock Lesnar's, because that one you get to do the little Brock Lesnar dance. Yeah, that one, exactly.
I would pay solid money to see Denise doing the proper.
Oh God, no! I always laugh seeing like grown dudes do it like at live events. I always like look around. It's the funniest thing ever.
Rah.
What about you?
Metalingus. Call me basic, but Edge's and like I listen to it like as a song. Like, you know, if I'm going jogging or if anything, I will put Metalingus on. Like as a song, it's great. I love Cult of Personality. Like these are all just good songs that WWE just happen to use. In terms of like an entrance music, like I really love Johnny Gargano's.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like that one too.
In terms of like which song is like better live than it is on CD, like this one's good on CD. It's really good on CD, but it's so much better live. It's glorious. Like,
oh yeah.
I remember going to see a Takeover. I think it was Takeover Orlando, maybe, and just like that was one of the first takeovers to feature Bobby Roode, and everyone was just literally one of the selling points of buying a ticket for that takeover is we get to do Glorious live. We all get to sing it live, and that was just a beautiful experience to be part of that crowd.
I think you feel glorious singing the song. Like everyone feels like it's them.
Yeah, I want to be on that pedestal just very slowly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. Do you have one that is live that is like, oh, you said Brock Lesnar.
Oh, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
Very, very nice.
On CD, I have too many, like all of them.
I've only got one WWE music CD, which is the one with that had the bonus track of The Rock talking about pie.
Volume 5.
Volume 5, very good. But yeah, that one had Medal on it. I think that one had You Look Fly Today, which is such a great song. I can't remember what else was on that album.
That was my first one that I ever got, the Volume 5 CD. That was my first wrestling CD. And then afterwards, I got Volume 4, so I got it backwards. And then I had Forcible Entry, which was the best. And then I had the Anthology CD, which was the Now, Then, Forever, something like that. No, it wasn't Now, Then, Forever. Whatever. They named it like all like differently. But then that 3-disc one, amazing.
Very, very nice. Dwayne the Gronk Johnson says, hey guys, happy 2021. Thought I'd ask a random non-wrestling question this week. Do you guys have any food habits that other people might find odd that you find? Oh God.
I feel like this question was made for me.
I know. Like, I already know like some of the horrendous things.
Horrendous? Adam, horrendous?
Horrendous. For example,
have you been seeing Luke's videos?
Like, I don't get me wrong, the Denise Salcedo that we see Luke does, they're amazing. Absolutely check them out at This Is Luke Owen on Twitter if you haven't already seen them. I'm sure you have if you're watching this. But this Dwayne the Gronk Johnson says, for example, I love eating spoonfuls of jam straight from the jar instead of spreading it on toast. Do you have any weird habits like this? Well, I've got one, but let's just run through the top 5 absurd and horrifying Denise Salcedo weird food habits, because look, come on, mate, come on.
5?
You like,
I don't have 5.
You do terrible things to food, Denise. You do awful, horrible things.
I dip my pizza in ranch and I'm a criminal.
Weird.
It's so good, Adam. You're missing out. I don't know how to. Okay, do they not offer? Is that like nobody does that in London? Is not a thing? Okay, well, here it's even promoted in commercials. Okay, like Papa John's and like all these different places, like they tell you like don't forget to get your dip. Like it's a thing. Like when you go to like pizza restaurants, they ask you like.
Now that is an eating habit that we need to talk about.
they like there's ranch that you can pick out. Like you go to Sbarro's, you can get you want marinara. Do you like what do you want?
Like Denise, we have pizza dips. It's for the crusts, mate. That's
no,
what
it's for everything.
No, it's not. You dip your crusts in it.
You need to taste it, Adam. It's so good. It will change your life forever. Like you won't be able to eat pizza without it. Like I get mad when they forget my ranch.
I could imagine. Yeah. I don't want to. Hell has no fury. But do you have any others that people just kind of be like, what?
Maybe cinnamon pretzels with cheddar cheese, melted cheddar cheese. I know somebody thought that was weird one time. You know cinnamon pretzels, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I know like Cinnabon, but like cinnamon pretzels are just pretzels with cinnamon.
Just the pretzels, like, and they're all covered in cinnamon. I like to dip them in melted cheddar cheese. So good.
Oh man.
Someone thought I was weird one time when I went to like Auntie Anne's. They were like, "You're gonna dip your cinnamon pretzel in cheddar cheese? Hell yeah, it's delicious." I also like to dip hot Cheetos in cheddar cheese. That's also really good.
Oh God, cinnamon and cheese going together.
It's so good. And then like your mouth gets. You need a napkin for this one because your mouth gets disgusting.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so mine is I think people will like the hardcore Plumpy fans will know this fact about me. But my nostalgia food, the one that really reminds me of home, basically my mum used to make it for me once a week, and I really, really like it. Do you have Yorkshire puddings in the States?
I've heard of it, but I've never tried it.
Okay, so it's basically just like light kind of batter, kind of served in like a little pudding thing. That you normally have with like a Sunday roast, so like gravy and beef and stuff like that. So we get Yorkshire puddings, 6 of them, arrange them on a plate like a sort of little honeycomb. My mum used to fill each Yorkshire pudding with baked beans and then cover the whole thing with cheddar and then kind of put that in the microwave. And that was my
So
comfort
pudding
food.
and beans?
So it's not like it's sort of a pudding. It's not sweet. It's just like it's a savory kind of
Okay.
like batter pastry thing with baked beans inside and cheese on top. And
That doesn't sound too bad. I mean, I would have put it with like regular pudding. Like I would have mixed my beans with like my pudding. But the way you make it seem, it sounds pretty tasty.
Oh man, this coming from you, I feel
I have a
like
question for you, Adam.
yeah.
Do you like, because, okay, so my uncle, he's Italian and he thought this was very weird, okay? He thinks it's weird that I have pizza for breakfast with coffee. Is that weird? Yes or no?
Is the pizza hot or cold?
Hot.
That's fine.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine.
Cool. All right.
Leftover pizza in the morning. Like I can imagine an Italian taking offense to that, mostly because Western pizza Italians.
And I did it in Italy too, which was, I guess, pretty offensive.
Oh, the idea that you left any pizza over for the morning is terrible in itself in Italy. Cold, like even cold morning pizza, it is a fact of life.
Okay, see, I won't do cold pizza ever. It has to be heated. I can't do cold.
My partner loves cold pizza. I don't get it. It's so hard and stodgy.
Yeah.
Like you have to kind of warm it up a little bit, and then it's a proper breakfast snack. But yeah, so that's her weird eating habits. She will go like there's very few leftovers that my partner is not content to have cold. Like genuinely, just like any leftovers we had, don't bother. I'll just have it. It's just like
You're like, what?
It's congealed. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I can't do that.
Independent Taiwan says Happy New Year. Happy New Year to the entire Pledgehammer community and the WrestleTalk team. Thank you guys for all the things you've done in 2020. Let's hope for a much, much, much better 2021. Oh, very nice. Happy New Year to you. Realize that wasn't labeled mailbag. But anyway, Happy New Year. Jonathan Headmaster Headman says, sorry, I had a funnier question. Name a movie, keep one actor, and replace the rest with Muppets. I'll start, Eyes Wide Shut, keep Tom Cruise. Like, that's perfect. Like, I've seen this circulated on Twitter a whole bunch of times. The best one I've ever seen is Die Hard. Keep Bruce Willis and replace everyone else with Muppets. Like, that is perfect. How about you?
I'm not a Muppets fan. You know that. Do you know that? I'm not a Muppets fan, so I wouldn't replace any of them.
Do you like any good things, Denise? No. Okay. Why?
I don't even think I know all the Muppets' name. It's Kermit, and then which one's the piggy girl again? What's her name?
Piggy girl. Mickey James, you're thinking of.
Oh God, no. I forgot. I'm blanking. Miss Piggy? Is it Miss Piggy?
Yes, Miss Piggy.
Okay, Miss Piggy. I'm a piggy girl.
We are the Piggy Girls.
Okay, so I know Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog.
Yep.
And that's my knowledge of the Muppets.
beer52.com/WrestleTalk. If you are infuriated by Denise Salcedo's lack of Muppets knowledge, go to beer52.com/WrestleTalk. Get your free case of craft beer and drown your sorrows, knowing that Denise is a terrible, terrible person. I would also say the Shawshank Redemption, with Andy Dufresne being the only one who is not a Muppet. Delightful stuff. Denise, every week I like you less and less.
How sad. I'm gonna be voted the most unlikable person.
I
started up here, went down here.
Yeah. I think it's like, you are scum. Subhuman scum. No, I'm a fan.
You know what? One day you will be here in Los Angeles eating pizza and we will play Monopoly, and you will dip that pizza in ranch, and you're going to have a nice bowl of hot Cheetos, Doritos, sour cream, Diet Coke. It's going to be like heaven, some trolleys. I mean, it is Denise heaven.
Some airheads, perhaps. I know that they're taffies now. I like genuinely a lot of people of all the kind of snacks. People are like, you don't know what airheads are? It's like, no, we don't. You don't have them over here.
That's why it trips me out. It completely trips me out.
Callum says, "Hi, hey, Danuk. Hope you had a nice Christmas and are doing well. I'm at the end of Friends, and I've been thinking about my favorite moment. And I would say it's when Joey finds out about Monica and Chandler. Just the look on Joey's face is amazing, and Joey trying to hide it from everyone is hysterical. What is your favorite moment from the show? Honorable mention, the scene in the trifle episode where everyone's trying to figure out how not to eat it. What is your favorite Friends moment? Goodness me, what a question.
My favorite Friends moment. Actually, I would say scene, because it's the most depressing one. And I guess without spoilers, it's the one where Rachel and Ross are like fighting in the living room, and they're going down the down end. That's my favorite scene. The most depressing one. Favorite scene, favorite episode.
Yeah, and they're all in Monica's bedroom.
Eating the wax.
Eating the wax. Oh, that's a really, really good shout. Like, I would say I really love the whole American football episode, like the Thanksgiving one. I love. I remember like one of my first great like kind of Friends moments was when Joey phones up and Chandler phones up and says, I'm current. And
Chandler understands him.
And just like immediately, oh my god, he's trapped in an ATM vestibule.
Yes, that one's good too. That one's really good.
Such a sweet depiction of friendship. Really, really good. Also, Ross and Phoebe trying to make out on the
the one where she's like trying to like be like this temptress. Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable. I can't watch it.
Oh no, not that one. Not that one.
That one.
That's a decent one, but no, it's the one where in the flashback where Janice
the flashback one
has anyone ever almost, and then
I didn't like that episode.
Really? Oh
no,
I really
think it made me uncomfortable. It's like, no, these people cannot be. No, like you already have your person. Stick to that person.
It's just like when he reaches down, pulls out the damn balls in the way, and it's just like, that'll do me. That'll do me. That made me laugh. That gave me a chuckle. Mr. Ollie Davis, #1 fan, best jobber in the world, JJ. Gyllenhaal says, you got mailbag. Hello, Denise, and most likely Adam. Now Goldberg isn't really liked in 2021. Oh no, it's a Goldberg question. It's good. More of Denise's terrible opinions. But like Denise, I like Goldberg. His run in WCW was awesome, except for the heel turn. As someone who has watched WCW 2000, when he comes out and does his match, the building becomes unglued and makes Nitro the hottest promotion on earth. His feud with Lesnar in 2016-17 was incredible, and his squash match versus Ziggler was great. My question is, in your opinion, is Goldberg an icon? Have a nice day. And jam that jam.
Hell yeah, he's an icon. Are you not going to comment on this? He's an icon.
I know. Look, yes, he's an icon. I don't think anyone's going to deny that Goldberg.
I think some people will deny it.
Look, there are lots of icons in professional wrestling. You know, Vince McMahon is an icon. You know, like not all iconography is good. The indelible image of Goldberg is great. He has no business being on TV shoving down Drew McIntyre.
That wasn't the question, though. The question was, is he an icon, Adam? See, you're doing exactly what Sean does, going a whole different direction. That question was, is he an icon? Yes.
I'm really annoyed that this is the question, because I really want to go off on one about Oldberg pushing down literally the closest thing they've come to like a brand new megastar. Really, really rough. Oh, it really gets my goat is what it does. But I guess, in my opinion, yes, Goldberg is a wrestling icon?
Count to 10, Adam. Count 1, 2. Practice some Zen.
Oh, this is what's woken me up, I tell you. Owen,
People get really, really upset. Really, really upset.
like that's the thing is, I'm trying to work out. Are you Andy
No, I like
Kaufman? Are you
Goldberg.
are you a troll, Denise? Is that what
No.
you do? Do you not believe any of these things? You just throw them out there because you just love the hate.
No, I do not love the
fueled by
hate.
internet? You're fueled by internet misery. I see you.
I don't love the drama. The drama loves me. I don't. I genuinely am a Goldberg fan. Okay. I do not agree with what happened with The Fiend, even though people, because here's the thing about the internet now is that you say you're a fan of something and then you're like automatically like you agree with everything. Like, I'm a fan of Goldberg. That does not mean I want to see him defeat Drew McIntyre. I never once said that. And that does not mean that I agree with what happened with The Fiend. Okay. But do I like Goldberg? Yes. Am I a fan of Goldberg? Yes. Do I think he's a legend or an icon? Yes.
Like, I agree. Yeah, legend, icon, sure. That he clearly connects with a mainstream audience in some way, even if it is just nostalgia and I think pretty bad for business. Like, I can't deny that Goldberg, for what he has done, for the pops he has had, for being genuinely like one of the few guys that WCW made like during the Monday Night Wars, like, yeah, for sure. Just get off my goddamn telly. Owen says, hey, Denise and Adam, most likely. What do you guys think if Drew pulls a Shawn Michaels versus Hogan at SummerSlam 2005 in his match with Goldberg at the Rumble, where he oversells the hell out of Goldberg's moveset? Would you lose respect for Drew? I think it'd be hilarious, but can't decide if that would make up for Goldberg beating Drew. What do you guys think?
I mean, I would like something of like what we saw with Brock Lesnar, like what he did there. Like, that was really fun. Obviously not actually like beating him, but just something like that that's very fast paced, impactful, come in, have Goldberg do his greatest hits, whatever. But then obviously have Drew McIntyre, the champion, look stronger, have him do his Claymore, do a counter. I don't know. I think they can do something short and sweet.
Do you think Goldberg's winning?
No, I never. No. I would be shocked if they did. I would be shocked.
If they
I can't defend that one. I'm out on that one. But you know what's funny, but because I like Goldberg, people think that I automatically want him to win, and I'm like, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. But that's how everyone takes it, and I'm just like, I didn't say that. I like Goldberg. I'm a fan. That doesn't mean I want him to win.
You just want to sit with him, eat pizza, dip it in ranch. I
don't think he'd probably dip his pizza in ranch. Does he seem like the type? Maybe.
I mean, he headbutts doors for a living, so yeah, probably, to be honest.
You've never gotten pumped, Adam. Never broke something, smashed a window, put your head through a door.
Yeah, I'm not living my life a quarter mile at a time. Okay, so the question is, if Drew is booked to lose, do you think he should do a Shawn Michaels? Like,
no, I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Like, I don't know, because that's the thing is, I don't think Drew's got Shawn's stock. I think if he makes a protest out of it, all he does is run the risk of drawing the wrong kind of heat with management. And I know that they are super high on Drew, and I do think he's going to beat Goldberg. And this is like one of the final things to kind of cement him as a proper superstar. Like, that's why I'm hoping they're using this for, and not just to pop mainstream attention going back into WrestleMania, which is such a possibility. But no, if Drew's booked to lose, like, from everything I've seen of Drew, I think he'll just do it respectfully, and do his job. Like, I think he's I get nothing but absolute professionalism from Drew, both kind of behind the scenes. Like, I've worked with Drew. Like, he was our WCPW champion for a very long time. The guy's super, super respectful. Apart from the time where he appeared in the crowd at an NXT takeover whilst being the WCPW champion, of course. But I can't really blame him for that. Like, yeah, get yours on that respect. Anyway, no, I think he'll do the job, and I pray that he doesn't have to.
I don't think he will. I can't see them making that mistake twice. I mean, maybe I have too much hope. I know, right? I still have
Yeah.
hope. I don't think they will.
Wrestling Talk Sign Guy says, with Hulk Hogan appearing on Legends Night, has me thinking about the way fans view behavior away from the ring. Although people get upset fairly over what Hogan said, not many people stayed upset at Lita over her actions with Matt Hardy, and no one ever really got upset with Edge. Personally, I feel actions such as like infidelity are worse than words. I have not had any respect for Edge or Lita since that. What do you feel is fair to hold against people, and for how long?
Were we talking about Hulk Hogan's racial comments?
Yeah, and that's sort of been compared to Lita cheating on Matt Hardy with Edge.
I don't think you can compare the two.
No, I like yeah, Hulk Hogan disparages like so many of the people, like what his comments done. Like, yeah, they were made in private, but what they do is just, you know, they create this horrible kind of idea of like of how these legends think about some of the amazing like up and coming people of color that are in WWE. And you know, Hulk Hogan talks about how he gets a really cold reception every time he goes back. It's like, well, you know, like it, I don't know, man. I don't think you can compare it to like Lita and Matt and Edge. Like, that was a private thing that kind of went public, and it was just like, yeah, like if Matt Hardy and Lita are on good terms now, why are you still upset?
Right.
You know, like that's the thing. Whereas Hogan like has affected kind of so many people, and like, look, it's up to each individual person whether or not like, and I mean like of all the people in the locker room, like whether or not they forgive Hulk Hogan. I'm sure some have, and others feel like Hulk Hogan has more work to do, and that's not up to us. That's up to Hulk Hogan and those stars, and that's all there is to it. But like, yeah, no, I it's a very thorny issue, but
yeah, it really is. It's a whole issue here, man. A whole issue.
Robert Ray says, Happy New Year. So since it is Rumble season, I thought I would do a what would you rather see. These are going based on both Rumble matches. So let's play what would you rather see. So basically, Denise, we're going to do this quick fire. Okay. I'm going to give you like something or something, and you tell me immediately which you'd rather see. Okay. Bianca wins from number 1 or Rhea wins from number 1?
Rhea.
Kevin Owens wins from number 1 or Daniel Bryan wins from number 1?
Kevin Owens.
Ooh, have the Rumble winners be predictable or have 2 underwhelming winners?
Predictable.
Have loads of NXT names in both Rumbles or 1 NXT star in both, but they have an amazing showing?
Loads.
Ooh, The Fiend wins the men's Rumble or Alexa wins the women's Rumble?
Alexa wins the women's.
Ooh, Brock returns to win the men's or Ronda returns to win the women's?
Ronda returns to win the women's.
New Day comes out at numbers 1, 2, 3 or Mandy and Sonya start the women's?
Mandy and Sonya. No, New Day.
Drew loses to Goldberg, but then wins the men's Rumble match, or versus to go versus Roman at WrestleMania, or Roman loses the Universal title, then steals Jay's Rumble to win?
The Roman one.
Fair. All right, there we go.
Oh, this was stressful. I was like,
And for the record, Rhea, Daniel Bryan, predictable, loads, The Fiend, Ronda, Mandy and Sonya, and Roman. No, I don't know. Drew, that one. All right. Liam, the Canadian Invader Walsh, says, Happy New Year, Luke and Denise. Good health to you both for the year ahead. My question today isn't about predicting the Royal Rumble winners, but predicting who is going to be the surprise entrance. Any ideas? My prediction is MVP will be in the ring. Then we hear a yo, 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 Brooklyn, and enters JTG as a tribute to Shad Gaspard. They perform Crime Time's G9 finishing move together on someone like Ziggler, then embrace in a hug, celebrating the moment, but then MVP throws JTG over the top rope. Have a great day and hashtag jam that jam.
I didn't have any until he said JTG, and now I kind of really want to see something like that.
I'd really like to see JTG in the Rumble. I think that would be really, really great. I don't know, like who else, like kind of surprise Rumble. I'm sure, like, I hope we get to see Molly. I hope Molly is in every single women's Rumble forever.
She's so fun. Yeah.
So great. In terms of surprise entrance, like I can't believe we haven't had a Trish Lita moment in the Royal
That's
Rumble.
true, actually.
I can't believe it didn't happen in the first Rumble. That's insane to me.
Who else?
I genuinely like. I might get hate for this. I would love Steph to be in the Women's Rumble. I would love her to come in at number 30. And
Oh, I
just like,
can't imagine it. I feel like she's completely transitioned her role. Like she's doing all of like this, business woman type of deal. Like she's focusing very much on the business end of things. So I feel like she's trying to portray herself differently. I don't know. Maybe.
Like in terms of people who I just like to see for one night only, like I want to see Scotty Too Hottie again. I want to see Scotty and Otis have a double worm. I think that would be really nice. Like if you're just talking about little spots, like they come in, they do a thing, and then they go. I'd love to see like the double worm spot with Otis and Scotty. That would be.
I have one. I have a good one. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But what if Kurt Angle, just a quick come in, do something, erase our memory of the Baron Corbin match, a little something, just a little bit.
Cena comes in, cleans house, and then Kurt Angle comes out, and we finally just have tiny little Cena versus tiny little Angle moment,
and that's it.
That's it. Oh, Denise, I like you again.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just fluctuate, man. I just fluctuate.
It's a real roller coaster. And that's the one we're ending on. So we are ending on Denise is good. That is how we've ended today. And I do want to say, of course, if you are going to be watching the Royal Rumble, like we will, make sure you get yourself a crate of beer 52. The Rumble always goes better with beer. beer52.com/WrestleTalk for your free case of craft beer. Store cold, drink fresh. That's
Why are you laughing?
Because I think that's pretty much I thought that was Beer 52's slogan, but it's just printed on the box like you should store this cold and then drink it fresh. I don't know if that it just reminded me of Subway. So like store cold, drink fresh, put in the fridge, fragile, handled with care. Beer 52. These are just things I'm reading on the box. Thank you, Denise, for doing this.
Thank you.
I don't
Team
know if
Damn is here, alive and strong.
Team Damn. There was a big mailbag this week. We've run 90 minutes. I'm very, very sorry. It's midnight where you are. Go to bed. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week where it'll probably be Team Danuke. And I'm sure Denise will be very, 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 very happy about that.
What? No, I love doing the show with you, Adam. I really, really did. See, you don't believe, even when I'm nice, people don't believe me anymore.
No.